Today we're going to be making an adorable bunny set. So to make your little bunny set, you need 3 flower pots. You could also use other items like a little pails, whatever you have. You don't need to go out and buy anything. I just had collected these over time for actually another project and decided to use them today. So stuff the bottom of your pots with newspaper or just white scrap paper, whatever you have. This poor little bunny is fallen face first into the flower pot, and his little bunny butt is sticking up in the air. So that's what we're making here. So I'm working on the legs, and I'm basically just making a little roll for his legs that are going to be sticking out of the pot. And I covered the body or the little butt just with, I think it was just some faux fur, some white felt, a snow blanket, anything white that you have you can use. You don't need to run out and buy anything new. So I've used kind of a combination of some faux fur I had left over, and that's what I'm using to make the tail here. So I'm just covering a little ball of paper, and I'm using faux fur, just gluing it around the little ball to make his tail, and it was simple as that. So now I decided to affix the body to the flower pot. I glued it in. I'm rolling up a roll of snow blanket, and that is the legs, the snow blanket, just rolling it up. So I'm just rolling that up and stuffing it in the sides. It's really simple. And now I'm gluing down the patch of faux fur that I had. Just use the materials you have. Like I said, you don't need to run out and buy anything. And I'm hot gluing the tail on. And don't put it too low, put it quite high up so it looks like he's fallen into the flower pot. Now I'm just cutting out little pads for the sole of his feet, and it's just out of felt, white felt, just cut out basically an oval. I tried to cut some little toes in, but I don't really think it was even necessary. So just make sure it covers the base of your foot. And then use a little pink felt, do some ovals, some little circles for toe pads. And just glue on the little soles of his feet. I started off with a glue gun, but it was too hot. So just use some like Elmer's glue that down, and it's safe, and you can just glue the little soles down. We appreciate your support. Please hit like and subscribe, and the little bell to see upcoming videos. So just like that, glue on the soles of your feet and you're done. And isn't he cute? I just love that sweet little bunny. So for our next little bunny, I'm using a headband from the Dollar Tree. And I thought the ears were too cute. And now that the face was going to be a little too large, so all I'm going to do is make a circle, hot glue it together, and then add zip ties. This little bunny is going to be popping out of the flower pot opposite to the other one, and I'm just like, oh, it makes a sweet little set. So I just added 2 zip ties just to ensure that that headband is secure and the head is round. Fill the bottom of the flower pot with some more white paper, and we need to make a body. So use some snow blanket, fill it with some more crumpled paper for the body of your bunny. Hot glue the body into the pot just to keep it secure. And now we're going to just complete the face. So I'm going around the headband, and then I'm going to set some white felt on top of it. And I found it best just to lean it over on the table and press down, and that way I didn't burn myself. Then cut around the face, just take off the excess of the felt, and then that way you're sure that it will fit. Now the face is going to be kind of empty, so I just put some more of that white crumpled packing paper inside, and then repeat the process. Hot glue around, set on the felt, press down until the glue's dry, and then trim off the excess. So I thought the ears needed a little styling, so I decided to give him one floppy ear and just bend the other one slightly just so that it looks a little more realistic. And this was a headband from the Dollar Tree at $1.25. So now let's work on some facial features. So let's cut out a pink oval for the nose. There it is. And I cut out some black eyes out of black construction paper as circles. And then I thought, okay, let's try something else. I cut out some ovals, cut the bottoms off just to make an elongated eye. Then I just cut some little strips of black construction paper for whiskers and did a rough layout of the face and glued it down with Elmer's glue. And I glued the whiskers onto the back of the nose felt just for good placement. And then I just dabbed some glue onto the face and then pressed down my little nose and whisker piece. After I placed it, I cut out another oval, slightly larger of pink felt, and I glued it on top of the nose to just give added dimension, and that way you couldn't see the whiskers underneath the little first layer. So if you add the second layer, it just adds a little something there. This was such an easy project. I was actually quite surprised it came together. I just had an idea in my head to use a headband, and oh, isn't he cute? I'm like, it's working out so great. So I decided he needs little paws, so it looks like he's crawling out of the little flower pot. So again, I'm just doing a roll of snow blanket, and I decided to sew in some toes just so it looked a little more realistic. So don't be intimidated. I'm not the best sewer in the world. Just kind of do some loops around and pull tight, and it makes little toes. And then I used a little hot glue, and I just glued the little felt roll together. I hadn't done that yet, so just fasten it down, cut off the excess, and there you go, a little foot. Then just tuck your little feet in the side of the little flower pot, and it needs a little glue to hold it down so it looks like he's just crawling out. Then you just need to place the head, so just kind of eyeball it and see where placement looks best. I think it looked a little better close to the front. And so I didn't lose my spot. I just tipped his little head forward, put some glue underneath, tipped it back, and just held it a little bit until that glue was good and cool. Then I just used some flowers I had left over, and I decided to go with the pink theme and tuck some flowers around, so it just looked a little more flower pot-like, and I'm like, that was just the finishing touch it needed. And I thought, how sweet. I just love these two little bunnies. And now I decided, hey, let's make a little bunny garden. So I decided to make a little bunny garden. So I stuffed another pot. And then I traced around one of these artificial turf tiles. And just trace around your pot so you have your size right. And then just cut that out. At the Dollar Tree, I bought the headband, the ear headband. I bought this artificial turf tile, and then I also bought this little mini garden set, and it was just so cute. I'm like, I'm going to use it for making my little bunny garden. I decided, first of all, bunnies need carrots, so I'm going to put in some carrots in my little garden. So I just used an X-Acto knife, cut some slits, and pushed in the carrots, and then it made my glue on pop, so I just had to re-glue there a little bit. I added some moss from the Dollar Tree again, and I just put it around the edges. I actually bought it for a wreath I'm going to make, but I decided, well, I'm just going to use a bit of it and put it around the edge, and it was a really nice finishing touch to the garden. And isn't that little chick cute? I'm like, I had to throw that little chick in there. I was like, oh, too darling. So I added some more moss. I went all the way around. I added a little pink flower just to tie things together. And then I picked off the daisies off. There's a little nest in there that didn't quite fit. So I picked off the daisies and then just glued them on. I thought this little bunny garden just tied the little set together really nicely. Do this set in, say, little metal pails from the Dollar Tree. You could use little crates. I just had flower pots, so that's what I used. Just for a finishing touch, I just added the rest of the little daisies off that nest. And I'm like, oh wow, I just love it. The end result was really cute. Thanks for crafting with me today. I hope you give this a try, and we'll see you next time.